Hey guys, Shot Midget here. So I'm going to be going over a few magazines for PTWs. I have CTW magazines, or Celsius, they're the same thing. Systema mags and NK mags. Now, I haven't had a whole lot of experience with these magazines. I've shot them through a G&D rifle, a Systema rifle, and an NK rifle. Not all three of them, though, in all three rifles. And I'll go over that later. And I also have tested a G&D mag, and I don't have it on me. James has one, but I will give my 2 cents on that mag as well. So this is my PTW. It is not completely done yet. I'm waiting on some electronics because the NK ones that I got fried. Now I got them for cheap. Got them for real cheap. And they lasted for about maybe 1,000 cycles. So I got to test the cylinder, make sure the hop-up was working and all that. So it's kind of just testing. I knew it wouldn't last, but I was hoping it was going to last at least 3,000 cycles. About 3,000, 2,000 to 4,000. But it only lasted about 1,000. The MOSFET fried. The NK MOSFETs are trash, but the NK ECUs are pretty good. NK ECUs are proprietary to 07 and before MOSFETs. And I actually heard that the new American PTWs are back to the 07 electronics. So I think the newer MOSFETs, like the 2016, I think it would be considered, or 15. I'm not exactly sure what they would label it as, to be honest, 2016 or 15, because I'm not sure when they announced the American PTWs. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents on that. With the rifles, I've tested, again, NK body, DTW body, which is G&D, and then also a Systema. I have not tried a CTW yet. So let's go ahead and go over the magazines. First, we're going to go over the Systema. So here's the Systema magazine. We've got a steel shell and a steel base. The magazine here is unknown on its age. The rifle that my brother got was purchased. It was a 2008 one. So these magazines that he has could be 08 magazines. It's really unknown. They don't mark them, and they should, but, doesn't really matter. So steel shell and base plate. No wobble, not really wobble, no rattle except for the BB that's in there. But the shell does not rattle. All these pins are in there tight. The bolt lock function works on the G&D, the Systema, and the NK. I tested in all three. The bolt lock worked flawlessly, and it fed in all three rifles as well. For being how old it is, that's fantastic. So, really nothing else to say. These hold around 120, I believe, but the other magazines say 122, and it's just hard to put that many in, so I only put about 80 to 100 in mine when I use mine. So then we have ANK. So with the ANK magazine, it has a steel shell as well, and base. It is unmarked. There's no markings on the bottom. The Systema has some markings. The bolt lock works flawlessly in the DTW, which is G&D, and the ANK. And I think I even tested ANK in the Systema, and it worked fine. So if you have a Systema, ANK mags are nice budget mags, and they work fine. The top on these two are black. They're black plastic. The CTW is different color. The G&D is black as well. It's kind of a dark gray finish, whereas the PTW is more of a black finish, I would say. This is a dark gray. Holds about 120. The CTW magazine here is a lighter gray. No wobble on this. I forgot to say with the ANK, there's wobble on the shell. The shell is loose. So does the G&D. The CTW has markings on the bottom. It's got a clear plastic top. This thing says it holds 120. Again, I don't load it that much. It feeds great. All three of these mags feed great. In the rifles that I've tested, I tested this in all three rifles. The G&D, the Systema, and the ANK all fed great. The one issue where the CTWs are, which gives them is a downfall, the bolt lock does not function. When you insert the mag and fire, the bolt lock does not lift enough. Now, that happened with all three rifles. The G&D, the Systema and the NK, I believe. It may have worked in the G&D. I think it all has to do with the spring power on the bolt lock, which with the CTWs, the bolt lock spring may be weaker, so it may be able to compute with that, but it does not work with some of them. So what you have to do is I just put a piece of heat shrink, actually 2 layers, on my bolt lock. Just 2 right here. Heat that up, and there you go. And it lifts high enough. Go ahead and take this upper off. Okay, it lifts high enough. That's hard to see. Whatever. So that works. As far as again, it holds about 120, but I don't fill them up that much. These retail for about 35 to 40. The ANKs are about 15, and the Systemas are about 70. So these get expensive. The ANKs are on par with like standard AEG mags, so I'd recommend them. But some people say they just feed awfully. In my experience, both of my ANKs feed fine, and James's 3 ANKs seem to feed fine. I think we tested them all. As far as they're all drop free because they're all heavy enough. As far as fitment, let me go and put the upper on. With the upper, there's less wobble. I will tell you that the Systema fits better in magwells. When you insert it, it just feels better. It just feels good. And the bolt lock, it pivots. Magazine drops free. Okay. And then the CTW. Feels pretty good to insert too. And then the ANK. This one has a weirder sound to it because it does rattle when you insert it. It just kind of sounds a little weird. As far as wobble on the magazines, there's a little bit of wobble forward and backward. Not enough to affect feeding and not enough to bother me. So, because there's very little movement. So, recap. The ANKs are budget magazines, but they're loose. But other than that, other than them being loose and being, I guess, cheaper, they won't last as long for sure. But in my experience, these are 2-year-old mags and these feed fine. So I'm guessing this will last up to 5 years, depending on abuse, how you abuse it, if you clean it or not. And I don't like cleaning mags, because when you clean magazines, you get lubricant on your BBs, and then you get lube in your hop-up, and it affects your hop-up. So that you can clean your mags by just wiping the springs down, cleaning the dirt off, and not lubricating. But some guns, some magazines need lubrication to feed properly, and then you get hop-up issues. The CTW here, $35, 35 to 40, feeds great, but has a bolt lock issue with some rifles, most of them in my experience, and it is very solid. The Systema magazine is very solid. It is top of the line, really, but very expensive, and overall feeds great. So these retail for about 70, I believe. The Stanags do. Maybe they're 80. I think I saw them for 80. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more videos on this PTW. I have some electronics coming, a new MOSFET. I got a G&D ECU. Waiting for a Systema MOSFET to install to see if it works. I got the Systema MOSFET for $5. Not even kidding. It has a broken fuse, and the guy said he doesn't know if it works. So if I have a spare fuse, if I replace the fuse and it works, I struck gold pretty much. Because those Systema MOSFETs, in the condition that it is, it's an 08, probably worth about 60. So yeah. So I can't wait till I get that in tomorrow and see if it works. If it works, I'll have a video on it. If it doesn't, I'm going to cry myself to sleep, and I'm going to have to spend about $75 on a guy that has another 08 MOSFET that is brand new. At least he says. So stay tuned for that. And also go check out my video on the APS key mod rail system. I'm going to do a video on that right now. I've had that key mod rail system for a while, so I'm going to do a video on it. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, comment below. See you guys later.